नमस्कार। श्री Ramakrishna Kathamrita. तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृतो प्रथम भाग चतुर्थ खंडो और द्वितीय परिच्छेद. We are reading from the second chapter of the fourth section of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali, first volume. And in this second chapter, we have seen Sri Ramakrishna telling us about the four classes of people that live in this world. And he is elaborating more on the Baddhaji, the bound souls, who have got caught in the net of this Maya, in this the net of delusion, and they are not willing to accept the fact that they have got caught. No. Just holding that string of the net strongly under their teeth and diving deep into the mud, hiding their face and eyes in the mud, they are saying, "No, I am safe." And although, like the verse from Gita that Sri M has used to start this chapter with, Anityam Asukham Lokam, this world is temporary. There is no pleasure in this joy. It is a joyless world. Having realized this temporary nature of the world, having realized this joylessness in the world, this world is filled with misery and sorrow and grief. Even then, the bound souls, they never make an attempt to get out of this net. They never even dream of getting into that stage of mumukshatva, of seeking liberation. Forget about getting liberated and becoming muktaji. No, they are just happy in that. And then Sri Ramakrishna had given so many examples in our previous reading of having undergone the misery and grief and sorrow in life so many times. Still, these people, they will just get over that sorrow and once again get into the world, into this temporary world of worldly enjoyments. And again they will have suffer grief, again they will suffer misery, again they will suffer sorrows. In fact, our Ma has time and again said, misery is truly a gift of God. If at all, if someone learning out of experiencing these miseries can start looking for the God, can start getting onto the spiritual path, that is in fact a boon that God is giving to us in the form of these miseries and griefs and sorrows. So our Ma says misery is a gift of God. But how many of us can learn from these miseries? How many can start becoming mumukshu? Can start seeking liberation, having undergone these miseries and sorrows and griefs? No. We still get into the same world of Kamini Kanchan, the lust and greed, and we get attached to it again and again and again. And now Sri Ramakrishna talks about this condition of the Baddhaji, of the bound souls. Sri Ramakrishna says, Abar kokhono kokhono jeno shape chuncho gela hoye. And again, at times, the state of these worldly bound people is like that of a snake who is trying to swallow a mole. সাপে ছুঁচো গেলা আছে, গিলতেও পারে না আবার উগরাতেও পারে না. The snake can neither swallow the mole, can nor can take it out, give it up. He is stuck with that mole, that's it. He's not able to swallow it, nor he is able to take it out, give it up. He is bound with that mole. That snake is bound with the mole, which is actually of no use. At least if he swallows, fine, he gets some nourishment out of it. At least if he can give it up, if he can throw it out, he will get relieved from that misery of that mole having stuck in his jaw. That is the condition of the bound soul. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is saying. And here Sri Ramakrishna further says, বদ্ধ জীব হয়েও বুঝেছে যে সংসারে কিছুই সার নয়, আমডার কেবল আঁটি আর চামড়া. Now the bound soul very well knows there is no stuff in this world. It is like that fruit amda. It is like it is one type. The amda is one type of a fruit, hog plum, which has no flesh in it. There is no pulp in it. It is just the seed and the skin. There is nothing to enjoy. We can neither enjoy seed nor we can enjoy skin. Had there been some flesh, some pulp like mango, or any other fruit which has some pulp, or even the oranges, the plum, but this is a hawk plum which has no flesh, no pulp in it, nothing you can enjoy. You can only find the seed and the skin. There is no stuff inside. And Sri Ramakrishna says the worldly people very well know there is no stuff inside this world, but still they get stuck to it. Tobu chhadte pare na. People are not able to leave this hawk plum, this amda. There is nothing in it, just the hard seed and the shrunken skin, which is going to give us no pleasure. But we are chhadte pare na. We will never throw that hawk plum away. We will just stick onto it. We will keep chewing it. No stuff in it. We can't get anything out of it. But we are not able to give it up. Tobo Ishporke dike mon dite pare na. And knowing very well there is nothing in this world that we can really enjoy. Because everything that is in this world, on the one side you have enjoyment, on the other side you have misery. There is nothing that can give you 100% enjoyment. People know this, realize this, day in and day out they suffer. But still, tobu ishporer dike mon dite pare na. Still, they are not able to give even a slight portion of the mind to God. They don't have, they can't turn their mind towards God. They cannot become mumukshu. They cannot seek liberation. They are just bound and bound and bound. Then Sri Ramakrishna gives one example of a relative of Keshav Sen. He says, কেশব সেনের একজন আত্মীয় 50 বছর বয়স দেখি তাস খেলেছে, যেন ঈশ্বরের নাম করবার সময় হয় নাই. And then he talks about one relation of Keshav Chandra Sen, that 50-year-old relative that having got into that stage of life, he has become 50-year-old, but still he is busy playing cards as if the time for chanting the name of God has still not come. যেন ঈশ্বরের নাম করবার সময় হয় নয়. That is the state of people who are just bound to this world. They will do everything else. When playing a game of cards, some games one may win and get elated. Some games one may lose so pathetically that he will say, "Oh, there is nothing in this game of cards. There is no fun in playing cards." Again, the same next moment, they say, "Okay, let me try one more game," and start shuffling the cards and distributing the cards and getting once again entangled in that game of cards. That is the way of the bound people. And Sri Ramakrishna says, "বদ্ধজীবের আর একটি লক্ষণ." There is yet another sign of these bound souls. And what is that? তাকে যদি সংসার থেকে সরিয়ে ভালো জায়গায় রাখা যায়, তাহলে হেদিয়ে হেদিয়ে মারা যাবে. Now, Sri Ramakrishna says there is one more sign of these such bound souls. If you take them out from this world filled with misery and sorrow and griefs, from this impermanent world, if you pick them up and place them in a better place, what happens? Their condition becomes so pathetic. তাহলে হেদিয়ে হেদিয়ে pining away, they will just die. মারা যাবে. They cannot remain in the world away from these existence of dualities, of pleasure and pain, of happiness and misery, of joy and sorrow. No, they cannot. They cannot survive pining for all those pleasures and pains of those dualities. They will ultimately die. They cannot think of higher things. They have to think of these lower things only, of the lust and greed. You take them away from the world of lust and greed and put them on a higher pedestal, whining and pining, they will just die. Vishtar pokar vishtati besh anando. The worm who loves dwelling in the feces will enjoy only in that dirty place. That they can thrive. They can thrive only in the dung. Those, small, tiny insects and worms. You take them out, etei besh rushto pushto hoye, they will become fat and, strong in that dirty condition, in that dung. যদি সেই পোকাকে ভাতের হান্ডিতে রাখো, মরে যাবে. That same worm, you take it out from that from the dung, from that despiseful environment. If you take out that worm and keep it in a pot of rice with good nutrition, clean nutrition, healthy food, that worm will die there. That is what happens with these worldly lives. Shokole stobdho. All are stunned to hear these words of Sri Ramakrishna, and they all start laughing. That yes, these are the ways of the worldly people. That is what Sri Ramakrishna has explained to us. That in spite of you try to do good to them. You try to take them on a holy trip. They will not enjoy. They will not enjoy the holy company. They will not enjoy the satsang. They will just enjoy the lust and greed, and like those worms in the dung, like those worms in the excreta, they will enjoy being there and die there. That is their life. if you try to give them a better environment, like a pot full of nice boiled basmati rice or maybe pulao or biryani, no, they don't deserve that. They will not just enjoy it, they will not just gel with that holy environment. They will die pinning away and whining away. No, that place is not for them. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna has spoken about the type of the four classes of people in this world, and more specifically, he has talked about the bound souls. And Sri Ramakrishna tells that at least one should become mumukshu. But no, these people will never try it. They will be happy in the lousy condition that they are in. They will be happy in this world of lust and greed, and that's it. They will never ever come out of that sphere of lust and greed, and they will think this is the only thing in the world. So here the second chapter comes to an end, and then we will take it up. The third chapter we will take up tomorrow, where Sri Ramakrishna is going to talk about Tivra Bairaga, O Buddhaji, that how the bound souls they react in the world of deep dispassion, deep renunciation. So that we will take it up in the third chapter in our next reading tomorrow. As of now, let us just focus on what Sri Ramakrishna has talked about the Buddhaji. And if we are in that stage of Buddhaji, at least let us pray to Sri Ramakrishna that take us out from this stage. Let with the blessings of Sri Ramakrishna, the blessings of Sri Ma, let us start at least seeking liberation. Whether we succeed or not, let us leave it to them, and let us start our effort to seek liberation. And maybe with reading of Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, we have already started the path of seeking liberation. Now, getting mukto or not is in their hands. Let us leave it to them. Let us follow this path. Let us keep on seeking liberation and praying to Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Shima. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.